Welcome back to the Chrono Talk channel, and in this video I will talk about the different grades of ETA movements. Stay tuned. Probably most of you already heard or read about the different grades of ETA movements. Sometimes you see or hear someone saying that this watch have a Elaboré grade movement or a standard grade or a top grade, and probably you even gone further and read about articles explaining or at least showing the different numbers and information regarding those grades. But really, one thing that I can remember seeing is someone explain exactly what the differences are and what these numbers mean. Usually what you have is the comparison about the information given by ETA, like this is the standard, this is the top, and this is the difference. And you are the one to interpret what this means. And not everything is so simple. So this is one way that I find the opportunity to explain what the differences are. First thing that is important to have in mind is that given that ETA was basically the main supplier of movements to the Swiss watch industry during the last decades, they were able to offer their movements in different grades and of course with different prices to reach different brands in different levels. So the same movement could be supplied to very entry-level watches as well as chronometer with COSC certificate watches, and that's why they offer different grades, and basically four different grades, starting from the standard, then the Elaboré, and the top and chronometer. And not all of the movements have available in the four grades. Basically, the most popular ones like the 28, 24, and the Unitas, they were offered in the four different levels. But movements like the 2892 and the 7750, they started up from the Elaboré level. They probably back in the very past they were offered in standard levels, but they are not offered since years in standard levels because they are more complex movements and finer movements, and they were intended to finer and more expensive watches. So that's why all I am saying here is basically the information from the ETA 2824. If you see the technical documentation from ETA, which is not a secret, it is available publicly by ETA itself, you see that they have a very big list of components and different numbers and information. They start talking about the Mainspring and then the escapement and the different components and all the adjustment levels that they offer to the different standards. I will not go over every single information of this. Actually, I started the video explaining exactly item by item, but it turns out to be way too complicated, and you will probably it would probably be a very boring video. So I forget about it and started to talk just about the information that really matters in this case. So one thing that is also very important to keep in mind is that sometimes people confuse the levels by being different levels of finishing, and it's not. It have nothing to do with finishing or decoration. Okay, of course that usually higher levels have better decoration, but it's not the two things are not linked. Okay, just because a movement is well finished and decorated, it doesn't mean that it's always a top or chronometer level. Okay, another thing is that what really changes is the a certain set of components between the standard and Elaboré, that they use the same, exactly the same components. They are basically the same movement. And then you have the top and chronometer that have a different set of certain components, and they are the same as well between them. So you have basically two categories, to be honest, but they are separated in two levels. So what they do at the end is that the top and chronometer have some components that make them more accurate and also a little bit more expensive, even though they are not linked to the accuracy of the movement. So the first thing that it's different is the mainspring. The mainspring for the standard and Elaboré is a Nivaflex NO, and to the top and chronometer is a Nivaflex NM. And what is the difference? If you see right below, there is an information of the moment of force of those mainsprings, and you see that the first number means the maximum moment of force that the mainspring have when the mainspring is completely full, and it is 11.86 Newton millimeter. While the M24, the second number here, is the moment of force after 24 hours. Okay, and this is the minimum force that the mainspring should have after 24 hours, which is 8.83 Newton millimeter for the standard and Elaboré, and 8.92 Newton millimeter to the top and chronometer. And what does it mean? It actually means that the mainspring, the composition is the same. Okay, both are made of Nivaflex, which is an alloy basically made of cobalt, nickel, and chromium, and there are other metals. There are the composition, the exact composition is a industrial secret, so nobody knows exactly. But basically, all the mainsprings made in Switzerland are made with this kind of alloy. It's made of Nivaflex, and actually there is basically only three major mainspring manufacturers in Switzerland. You know, I can guess that maybe 95, even more than 95% of the mainsprings of Swiss watches are made either by Nivarox or General Resorts or Schwabfeller. Those three are the main manufacturers of mainspring, and they all use the Nivaflex alloy. But the difference here is the calibration of the mainspring. They are turned in a certain way that makes the mainspring for the top and chronometer to give more plain torque discharge. What it means? It means that it is calibrated in a way to give more power after 24 hours. And why is that? Given that most of the chronometric evaluations, like the COSC, they are basically one of the most important numbers is the isochronism. Isochronism is how the watch performs comparing the rates with maximum power and after 24 hours. This number is very important. And the mainspring for the top and chronometer, it is calibrated to give a little bit more power, or in other words, to lose less power compared to the full mainspring than the mainspring on the standard and Elaboré. And this way, after 24 hours, these watches are more likely to have a better accuracy. Okay, so this is a little bit of a trick to make them look more accurate on a chronometer testing. Okay, so this is the only difference, and the The numbers here prove that the mainspring for the top and chronometer, they are intended to have a little bit more torque after 24 hours. Another difference here is the shock absorber. You will see that the standard and Elaboré, they use the ETA shocks, or sometimes they use the novodíac, which is different than the Inca block used on the top end chronometer. This actually doesn't make any difference on the performance of the movement. The only difference is that the Inca block is the classic shock absorber, as well as the Keith. The Keith and Inca block are the most popular and classic shock absorbers, and they are actually easy to give a maintenance on them. The ETA shocks or novodíac, you have to remove the entire spring to remove the block in case you have to make the lubrication again on the cap dual and things like that. So despite it doesn't make a difference in performance, it doesn't change anything in accuracy, and actually the capability of absorb shocks is the same, but the Inca block is the classic and it's more expensive, and that makes sense to use it on the more expensive movement. Okay, but basically they doesn't change the performance of the movement. Now getting to the escapement, this is where you see most of the differences. The escape wheel and the pallet fork are the same. The pallets are a little bit different, but I have to make a comment here because the document says that the standard and the Elaboré use poly rubies on the pallets, while the top and chronometer use red rubies. What is the difference? The poly ruby is actually an agglomerate of ruby powder, and it's not it's a little bit opaque. You can see through them. It's not crystalline, but basically I didn't see it used since the 90s actually, okay, unless they changed the way they make it. But as far as I remember, I never saw them after the 2000s. Okay, usually all of them, even being standard or Elaboré, they use red rubies, and the difference is that the poly ruby is actually like a ruby powder condensed, and it is maybe susceptible to shipping. Okay, in case of some impacts on the movement, maybe it can ship. And the red ruby, which is the classic ruby, both are synthetic, okay, but the red ruby is the classic crystalline ruby that is sinterized. It's actually aluminum oxide sinterized that turn into ruby, and it is a little bit more expensive. It's not very expensive, but it's still more expensive than the poly ruby, and it can be more resistant to accidents. But actually, as I said, I don't think that ETA uses poly ruby on any of them anymore. Another big difference here is the material in which they make the balance wheel. On the standard and Elaboré, they are made of nickel, and it is gilded because it's just to give it a gilded color. But it's made of nickel, while the top end chronometer is made of glucidur. Glucidur is a beryllium bronze alloy. It's not only harder, but it's much more resistant to temperature changes. It have a very low thermal coefficient. So the glucidur balance wheel is more stable, basically, okay, because it's harder. It less likely to have any kind of deformation or distortion, be it over the manufacturing process or over the years. So it is considered a better material for balance wheels. Actually, all the balance wheels of high grade movements are made of glucidur. Another things that you see here is the collet, which means Nivatronic. Is the same for all of them, but Nivatronic is worth explaining. The collet is the point where the hairspring is attached to the balance wheel or the balance axle. the Nivatronic is a method of assembling it with a kind of laser welding, and so the curve and the fixation is almost perfect, is very precise, and that's why they mention this here. Another thing that you see that is the same for every level is the ETA table, the heat treatment. This is actually a heat treatment that they give on the terminal curve of the hairspring, because back in the 90s, it happens that some watches, when it receive a very hard shock, the terminal curve sometimes it bend and kept bent. It doesn't go back, so you have to take your watch to a watchmaker to put it back in place. And the ETA table is a heat treatment to this curve to make it more resistant and more elastic, so under an impact it goes back to place without any other problem.